Note, Anita is not the real name, it's just for the story. God bless you. Here is Anita and Demaria. Anita got Demaria killed over an argument on whose turn it was to use an iPhone. You are welcome to my channel once again. I hope you are all living the best of your life. This is Demaria, beautiful, filled with hope and promises of life. And yet, her life was cut short by her own older cousin over an iPhone, over an argument that was made earlier. And Anita made sure everybody went to bed peacefully. The coast was clear for her. And she carried a burden like a pillow to suffocate Demaria until she watched Demaria breathe her last breath before she let her be. This is Anita. And she cleaned up all the evidence, repositioned the little baby, and went under the same bed and slept off as if nothing happened. My question is, where did she get that mind from? Is it not through the same phone? Why has phone become a toy for kids to play with? Phones, they watch all kinds of things. I'm just wondering where this little girl got that mind from to kill her own cousin, clean up the evidence, because it's as if she's been doing it. And one question I have is this: why was there a camera in their room? Has Anita been doing some unthinkable stuff before now, before she got her cousin killed? Anyway, you will listen to this analysis by these three people here. I think what the father, the first man said, has a lot of sense in it. Parents, we can do better. Phones, devices are not the best thing to be given to kids at a particular stage. Just listen to whatever they have to say. I'll be right back in a moment. Thank you.
Welcome and thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored, and we appreciate you staying up late with us. First up on The Factor, we start off tonight's show talking about a grueling situation. A 12-year-old girl is accused of smothering and killing her 8-year-old cousin over an iPhone on July 15th in Humboldt, Tennessee. They were both visiting their grandmother's house. Now, according to the county's prosecutor, a security camera recorded the killing inside the bedroom the young girl shared. The recording shows the older child using bedding to suffocate her cousin as she slept in the top bunk. After the child died, the 12-year-old cleaned up the victim and repositioned her body in bed. We have with us to talk about this tonight therapist Dr. Jasmine Boone and fathers Lewis Hunter. So, Lewis, as a father, when you first read this story and saw the video reports, your thoughts about it?
I was shocked. I was shocked to the extent that I realized the world that we live in today. You know, the fact that you could have a 12 and 8-year-old fighting over an iPhone, cousins, mind you, at grandmother's house, and then have the 12-year-old kill her cousin and then come back and position the body and try to cover up what she had done. You know, that doesn't happen overnight. That's not something, you don't jump from. Most juvenile crimes are property-related, burglary, vandalism, but you killed your cousin behind an iPhone. They need to lock her ass up.
And got back in the bed. And went to sleep.
You know, and I also read, I'm glad you mentioned that, because they said that they didn't find out until like a day or two later, I think.
They had to go watch the video.
The video.
Grandmother. And imagine what it was like for the grandmother to go and view that video for the first time.
But it also makes me question, why is there a camera in an 8-year-old's room? You know, a 12-year-old's room. You know, so there had to have been behavioral issues before that had not been addressed. And I'm sure they're going to scream mental health and, you know, all this other mess. And I'm curious to know what sort of mental health issues or therapy that she may have had before this.
All right, Dr. Jasmine Boone, your thoughts on this disturbing situation?
It's so unfortunate, and it's so, like, no one wins. Poor grandma, poor moms that lost both of their babies one way or the other. But, you know, we don't know. You know, according to the article and news, there's no speculation of mental health issues. So ruling that out, we do have to take into consideration that this girl, this 12-year-old, her brain is not fully developed, right? So we're talking about the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for decision-making, consequences, the pros and cons, weighing them out before making the decision, long-term consequences, like all the things that the prefrontal cortex is responsible for. She hasn't matured into that yet, and won't for another 12 or 13 years.
Prosecutors don't care about that. They want to try her as an adult.
They want to try her as an adult, but who she is at 12 will not be who she is at 24. 30, 40, like literally her brain is not fully matured, right? And so I personally and professionally don't think she should be tried as an adult. I think there is a desensitization that's taking place with the social media and all that good stuff, where she may know, like, I want to kill her, but you don't know the gravity and the long-term impact of your decision. And so I don't know that trying her as an adult is fair.
And before we get to you, Lewis, one of the issues I have here is when we as a society, all of us, covet a phone.
Oh my God.
It's a electronic device, but in this case, we're willing, allegedly, to kill for it.
Absolutely.
And adults are even worse.
We see it even in toddlers. The phone is like a deity now. It's like a god to a lot of these younger kids, where
a Bible where the Bible never could get. In our hands.
That's a word. I love that. Absolutely. It is sending them into a tizzy, and we have to pay attention to this, because not only is it the phone, like, what are they watching? You know, in researching this, I just randomly decided to just scroll Instagram and came across 5 murders or clips that were leading to a murder before it got cut off. We shouldn't be exposed to this on a daily. Like, we shouldn't have access to this, and we're adults. So think about an adolescent or a child.
I would like to know what's going on with the gluteus maximus cortex part of this kid. You know, how many ass whoopings has this kid gotten leading up to this? You know, there had to have been a discipline issue leading up to this. This just does not happen, you know, overnight. And so I would really like to know, you know, what sort of discipline. I think discipline is a big issue.
Yeah.
Lazy parenting. I think cell phones has a lot to do with lazy parenting. You know, you throw them a phone or a tablet, they're out of your hair for a while. You can watch whatever reality show or whatever you're into on television. You get some quiet time for yourself. I know that they charged this child with, or from what I understand, they've charged her with first-degree murder. But like I said, like she said, there's a lot of talk right now as to whether or not you can charge this young lady. And it's become real unpopular over the last 20 years for judges to prosecute young children as adults. And as a result, the way the statistics read is as though juvenile crime has gone down. But I think that the reality is that not as many of them are being prosecuted, because it affects the professional resume of a judge who may want to move on to higher elected positions.
All right. We want to thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor.
Proverbs 22, verse 6. Train up a child the way they should go, so that when they grow up, they will not depart from it. Parents, stop buying your children phones. Stop buying them devices that will expose them to dangerous stuff on the internet, because you are not there. You are always too busy to monitor them. Please, for God's sake. Stop buying your children phone at their earlier stage. You're even destroying them. You're destroying their brain, everything about them. Just watch out for the updates of Anita and Demaria. God bless you.
I just cried.
In Operation Crime and Justice, new information in the murder of this 8-year-old West Nashville girl. Police say Demaria Hollingsworth was suffocated by her 13-year-old cousin, who has just been indicted for this murder. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller's live in studio after speaking with this young victim's family.
Yes, Scott, a tough story tonight. I spoke with Demaria Hollingworth's mother and younger sister after the indictment. Now, the DA in Humboldt says that the violent attack while little Demaria was sleeping was caught on video. Attorney General Frederick Adrie says that this is one of the most difficult and brutal cases he's ever seen, especially between a 13-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Was she your best friend?
5-year-old Ramaya Hollingsworth misses her older sister, Demaria.
I like when she be helping me with stuff. And she makes my food. Sometimes we make each other laugh and we tickle each other.
Ramaya and her mother, Rihanna Smith, are wearing pins to remember Demaria. Humboldt police found Demaria dead in an upstairs bedroom of a relative's home in Humboldt on July 15th. Investigators have surveillance video that shows 13-year-old Lackawanna Parson using bedding to suffocate her young cousin. The video also shows Parson cleaning blood from the victim's face and repositioning the body under the covers. The mother, Rihanna Smith, is heartbroken.
I went there to protect her, and that hurts because I always tell my kids I'm their protector.
Smith says both her daughters were staying with their father's mother. She wants to see every adult that was there charged. Smith believes everyone needs to be held accountable for neglecting her baby girl.
She was bright. She was intelligent. She was outgoing.
For now, the case against Lackawanna Parson is headed to trial in adult court as Rihanna Smith and her youngest child try to go on with a hole in their hearts.
Since the 13-year-old suspect is being tried as an adult, if convicted, she could be sentenced to a life in prison. In Tennessee, that's at least 51 years before becoming eligible for parole. Reporting from in studio, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Remember, phones are not toys that children grows up with. Just remember that. I do hope you learn 1 or 2 lessons from here. If you stick to the end of this video, please do subscribe to my channel. Leave your comment below. I'll see you in my next video. God bless you and stay blessed.